A spring sunrise, soon to light up the beautiful Morecambe Bay. The bay is recognised for its scenery and internationally as an important wintering and feeding ground for thousands of migrant wading birds. I am interested in the limestone outcrop situated about 1 mile inland at the shallow eastern end and known as Warton Crag. In particular the disused quarry, which is now part of a nature reserve. Not used as a working quarry for over a quarter of a century, it has become a haven for many species of wild birds, including songbirds, hundreds of pairs of breeding jackdaws, various raptors and corvi. After years of being kept out, a pair of ravens have been allowed to nest and have raised 10 young in the past 2 years. Sparrowhawks fly over searching for the smaller birds they feed on. Buzzards patrol the sky looking for carrion. A pair of little owls moved in a couple of summers ago. At this time my interest is in a breeding pair of this planet's fastest living creature, the magnificent Peregrine Falcon. The male, or tearsel, is king of the area in and around the quarry. By early April the female is sitting a clutch of eggs that hatch during the first week of May. Then the 2-hourly feeding regimes commence. For birds with such a fearsome reputation as killers, they are extremely gentle when feeding the offspring. The male is pulling pieces of meat from a black-headed gulchick and feeding first the earliest one hatch and then the other in pecking order. This helps to ensure at least one survivor to fledge. By mid-May the chicks are growing well. The female has been away hunting rather longer than usual and the male is getting agitated. He sets off for a look round the quarry, but he dare not go far as the chicks are vulnerable. He's back now, so they're safe. And here's the female with the feral pigeon. She's plucked most of the 3,000 or so feathers from the carcass, so no wonder she's laid back. He is now effortlessly flying around his domain looking for any potential danger and letting the enemies know he's the boss before going hunting for the next feed. In crevices around the quarry face are carcasses they've cached in case of bad hunting times. Now that he's gone hunting and the hen is busy feeding the chicks, some jackdaws have come down for a bath. Having finished feeding, she settles down over the chicks to keep them warm. The next feed will not be for a couple of hours. They've swapped over on the nest and the female is now spending time on the important job of cleaning her plumage before the next trip. The peregrines are meticulous at looking after their feathers and they bathe regularly. The PTO team came on the 31st of May to fit an identification ring and DNA test the surviving chick. It is now the 4th of June. The remaining bird is growing fast. We think its sibling was blown off the ledge during a stormy night at the end of May. She's now tucked into the plants for shelter. It's the 10th of June and the male is feeding her. It's a very cold and misty morning. She is now losing the down of the feathers and growing fast. Unbelievably, she should be ready to fly in about a fortnight's time. As we can see, the chick has a crop full of food, so the male is taking the remainder of the prey and will either eat it himself or cache it for later. The jackdaw's wing she plays with has been on the nest ledge for a few days, and she often picks it up and carries it about. The feathering is really coming on. The mother bird is keeping watch a couple of yards away along the ledge, having fed the youngster, and is spending the time preening. We can now see the distinctive cheek markings appearing. She's getting big now and over the best flying weight, so the parents will reduce the amount of feeding as she nears fledging time to drop her weight down. It is the middle of June and she's spending her time between meals trying to get rid of the downy feathering and exercising her wing muscles with vigorous, rapid wing beats. You can see now she's larger than her father. He's just sneaked back into the quarry, but the female went up and sent him on his way to go hunting. It is now June the 20th and the valerian and all the wildflowers in the quarry are in full bloom, and even the little owl has come out for some sunshine. By the 22nd the transformation has been stunning. The chick has now lost her extra weight and nearly all her down, and is working her wings really hard to build up stamina. It's a very windy day and it would only take a bigger gust to lift her off the ledge. You can see she's nearly off as she beats her wings hard to strengthen those muscles. It is wonderful to watch and everyone is full of anticipation, but I think it's too windy and that the chick will not leave the nest until the wind abates. Although she's calling to be fed, the parents are ignoring her, hoping that she will fly to them. The female keeps flying past the nest, high in the sky, carrying food and calling to her in the hope of drawing her into the air. And the chick is now fledged, having made its maiden flight just after 6 AM. Now on a ledge resting after a second sortie and exploring her new surroundings, she found that not everything would support her. She decides preening is needed. Better still, a snooze. After climbing, instead of flying to another perch, we all thought she was going to take off, but we were disappointed. Here's the female keeping watch from a nearby favourite perch. The youngster is in the grass near the quarry top. He's plucking what appears to be a piece of rabbit or grey squirrel which her mother dropped in for her. She's now resting and digesting a meal. It is a week since the bird fledged and she is waiting for her father, who dived to the quarry bottom, swooped round some willow bushes and appeared with a jackdaw he caught, nearly at ground level, and is now plucking it for the chick to feed on. The female peregrine was recently filmed and timed in an experiment involving cliff jumpers in Italy. Mathematicians calculated that the peregrine reached a speed of 204 miles per hour to catch the cliff jumper with the lure. The female is sunning herself drying her feathers after a bath. During the next 2 weeks I made numerous visits to the quarry, in the hope of seeing the chick flying, but without luck. Now it has changed and I am seeing it fly for the first time. It is late evening, the sun is setting, and as the bird circled above the quarry wall, she dived down and chased her father up into the air, and then followed him round, before landing on the quarry top and settling down for a night's roosting. I am pleased to have seen the whole breeding to flying sequence. I thank Lynn and Denise and the volunteers of the Peregrine Watch team for making this wonderful sequence possible by their 24 hours a day vigilance during the breeding season.